Hey, this is George with the New Hunter's Guide. Today I want to talk to you about beginner's gear for crow hunting. Now, like any kind of hunting, sky's the limit in terms of what you could spend on gear. But crow hunting especially, you can get into super cheap. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to do a lot. You can get out in the woods spending very little, and everything you buy can be multi-purpose that you can use for other kinds of hunting. So let's jump right into it. The number one thing, the first thing you need for crow hunting is a shotgun, right? You gotta have a shotgun. This one here is the gun that I started hunting with. This is a Browning Auto 5 Sweet 16. It was actually my wife's shotgun. And, when we got married and I started hunting, that was the only shotgun we had. Now, you might say that's a nice gun to start with, semi-automatic. It was at one time. Hasn't been semi-automatic, though, for years. It just, for whatever reason, you take one shot and then you've got to re-rack it again. And sometimes it'll eject the shell and load another one. Sometimes it won't. So it's basically a single shot, and you've got to re-rack it every time. And you don't know when you won't, but it's not super reliable. But the best gun to start crow hunting with is the gun you already have. It's the shotgun you already have or can already borrow. Almost doesn't matter what it is. If you've got a gun, even if it's a broken semi, that's the best gun for you to start with. Get out in the woods, get some dirt on your boots, get some practice shooting, get some practice hunting crows with whatever you can use that you don't have to pay for. If you want to buy something, a nice nice pump action shotgun is probably the best and cheapest place to start. Break action shotgun will work real good, over, under. Single shot is just fine. Semis are good too. All that's fine and good. We're talking about crows though. This is the lowest bar for bird hunting. Get out there with whatever you have, whatever you can borrow, whatever you can buy used at a gun shop or a gun show just to get you started without spending a lot of money. Spending more money is not going to help you much. You don't often get a second shot at crows. They're super wary. You get one good shot. The second shot maybe matters. The third shot only lets every other hunter in the woods know that you missed with the first two shots. So whatever you can get that you don't have to buy or that you can buy used and cheap, start with that. Then once you get some experience, you learn about what you like, what you don't like, your style, the way you like to hunt, then you can spend money on the kind of firearm that you know fits you and your style, as opposed to just going out and buying something with no experience and then, a couple months or years down the road realize you made a mistake, you don't like that gun, it doesn't work the way you want it to or the way you'd like it to work, and now you've either got to get rid of it or just keep using something that you don't really like. So many people that I know that have started have regretted the first gun that they bought. So I recommend don't buy a gun if you can help it. And if you are going to buy something, get something used. So at least if you don't like it, you can probably sell it for close to what you bought it for, get your money back out of it, and then buy something that you do like. So you got to have a gun. And if you're going to have a gun, before we talk about anything else, you got to have ear protection. These are little plasticky silicone earbuds. I bought these on Amazon for, I think they're like $2 a pack. I think I got like a 10 or a 15 pack for like $20 or something like that. These are the best earplugs I have ever found. $2. One pair of these have lasted me like 6 years. Why did I buy a 15 pack? So I would have some that I can lend to other people who are just starting to hunt that need ear protection. But you don't need to spend a whole bunch of money. There is great active ear protection that you can put in your ears that you can still hear what's going on around you. That's cool. Usually though, even with these in, you can still hear crows when they get close to you, and they're $2. Pick up something. Anything works that's comfortable for you and will stay in your ear. But you want to wear ear protection. You're usually only sitting and calling for 20 or 30 minutes at a time. So you just pop them in, call, shoot. When you're done, pop them out, and then keep on hiking and going through the woods. Number 3 thing, and I know I put ear protection as number 2, but number 3 thing is you're going to need ammo for your shotgun. I would say get the hearing protection before the ammo. Now, there's two different kinds of loads that people use for crow hunting. Right here, you've got your low brass target load. Number 6, 7, 8, 9 shot. You see the brass, well, I guess on these it's not brass, but the metal is low. That usually indicates that there is less powder in there. So you've got less velocity, less speed, less charge, but a lot less expense. Here you've got your high brass load, and you can see way more metal. I don't know if it's focusing well enough. You can see way more metal on these, and the shell's even a little longer. On this shell right here, you're going to have more velocity, faster moving pellets. You're going to have usually more pellets, and basically a more effective round. So George, which one do you want? Well, these cost way more than these. And these kill crows just as dead as these ones. So what's the best one to use? I recommend new hunters start with the cheapest ammo you can get. Go for the low brass. Literally, you can get a box of 25 of these depending on time, place, location, the state of the economy, whether or not there's a pandemic going on. Anywhere between $5 and $8 for a box of 25. And that can last you several hunts. Whereas these more cost somewhere along the lines of, $20 for a box of 25. Could even be more. Some places might be less. I've been crow hunting for a few years, and the way I tend to do it nowadays is I will go out into the woods with 3 of these ones in my gun, the expensive ones. And then I'll have a box of these in my backpack. The idea being, you don't always know if you're going to get a shot at a bird. And if I only get one shot that day, I want to shoot them and have the best chance I can have with these. But I don't want to shoot 20 of these in a day. So if I get more than 3 shots, I'm just going to shoot these for the rest of the day because I'm getting a lot of chances, a lot of shots, a lot of opportunities. Let's shoot the cheap stuff. But you never know when you might only get one shot, so I like to have the slightly more expensive and more powerful load in my gun just in case I only get 1 or 2 shots for the day. I want just to try to make them count. But I'm not going to shoot those all day because they are expensive. So then I'm going to go for the cheap stuff for the rest of the day. But I hunted for years with just the cheap stuff. You don't need to get anything. You can get the cheapest ammo you can buy. Number 6, 7, 8 shot is perfectly good. They'll knock crows out of the sky at 20, 30, even 40 yards. Very good stuff to use for crow hunting. Crows are not the most robust birds. They are easy to knock down. They're a little bit more robust than a dove, but they are nowhere near like a pheasant or even a duck is to try to knock them out of the sky. Easy to drop a crow, and lead shot works really good if you're able to hunt with it. Otherwise, steel's the cheapest alternative. Next thing you need for crow hunting, you got to have a crow call. You got to have a call. You need a gun, you need hearing protection, you need ammo, but you have to have a call. You got to be able to call crows in. This is a super simple, super cheap mouth call. It's terrible, but it works. I'll give it a blow for you. Now, I'm sure it sounds worse on the camera than it does in real life, but it doesn't sound real good in real life. But it works. Crows will come into that. I think I got that call for free when I bought another call. It just came, I think I bought a turkey call and that came with it for free. And, it's terrible, but you can pick one up for $5, $10 sometimes, and they will work for crow hunting. Crow calls will work for, that's fine. You can spend more money and get a better one. You can get an electronic one, which is what I prefer to use after doing this for years. But I did not start there. I did not have the money to buy a nice electronic call. So you can get started super cheap. One of these, probably $10 out the door. You can get them anywhere. The brand doesn't really matter. And then you're good to go. The next thing you need for crow hunting is concealment. You gotta have some level of concealment. You don't need full camo, but you need to be either in camo, black, brown, or dark something or other so that you can lean up against a tree, you can hide in a bush, and you're not gonna look like a person. Most people, they've got black clothes or dark brown clothes or some sort of woodsy kind of color clothes that they can throw on and just use a pair of boots. What people typically neglect, though, is their head and their face. You need something that you can put on your head, something you can put over your face, because your face is the most visible, the most exposed thing that you've got when you're hunting crows. You're looking around at crows, trying to see them. Where are they? Where are they coming in? You need something to cover your face. Some people will use paint. I like to use one of these. This is a little cheap, super simple head and face covering. Here, I'll put it on for you just so you can see what it does. Just goes right over your head like this. You got the little straps that go around. Pull it down, and then boom. Got the thing that goes over your nose, and you're in good shape. You can hunt with this all day. It's super comfy. It's not hot at all if you're hunting when it's hot. I mean, this is mesh. It's nothing. It is just completely see-through. But you can dress it up or dress it down. You can put a big hat on. You can put a, heavy neck gaiter on under it. You can wear a full face mask or ski mask under this thing. I think I got this one for $10 at Walmart all day, every day. You can get them anywhere, somewhere in the $8 to $12 range. Something like this is definitely worth buying because you can use this. I use the same one for turkey hunting. I use it for archery deer hunting. When it's warm outside, I'll use this for duck hunting. I will use it for anything I need concealment in the woods. And like I said, you can put a full tundra balaclava under it and be, protected to -30 and then throw this on top. Or you can wear it as is hunting on an 85-degree day and still be cool. So it works perfectly. Gloves, hands, anything you can throw on there that's not going to draw attention to you will work. The next thing you're probably going to need, depending on where and how you hunt, is a decoy. Now, I've known people that literally, they will take a piece of cardboard. They will cut the silhouette of a crow out of that cardboard, spray paint it black, stick it on a piece of dowel rod or a big popsicle stick, and then just jam a bunch of those in the ground. That works. That will work. That'll do the job. If you're getting started, you can get into crow hunting for, the cost of a can of black spray paint, and you can do it that way. I like to use a little more sophisticated decoy myself. This is, I don't know what brand it is. Doesn't even matter. It's a nice crow decoy. It's got a clip on it right here, so you can clip it onto a branch. Also comes with a rod. You can just put that right up through the middle. Thread it right in like this in the field, even when it's dark. It's not that hard to do with a headlamp on. And then boom, you stick that right in the ground just like this. And when it blows, the wind blows, it'll spin a little bit. Works real good. Those aren't the most expensive ones, but you can get a box of, those I think cost like $20 for 2 or 3 of them. You can get a box of, I think, a dozen sometimes for $40 or $50. Depends on how into it you want to get. If you're running and gunning, you don't even need decoys. You're just moving from spot to spot, hiding in the trees, trying to call them in close enough. You can hunt crows without decoys. But if you're going to set up in a field, you're going to try to get them to come in and land, then you're going to have some kind of a decoy in order to give them something to look at and come into and land inside. So you can go with cardboard cutouts. It'll work. You can go with a nicer decoy like this. It'll work. You can go with ones, they're just kind of like an all-black crow-shaped blob with a point on the bottom. Stick those into the ground. To be honest with you, I wish I would have bought those before I bought the better ones because you get more of them for the same price. And that's what I plan on buying next in order to up my decoy counts so I can do a little bit more in field hunting. But you don't have to have a decoy. People say, well, what about, you need to have full camo outfit and rangefinder and all these other things. No, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. You don't need anything more than what I put on the table here and showed you other than some regular clothing that is darkish in color. Most of the crows that I've seen down were down by people that were not wearing camo, didn't even own camo. But they're just out there hunting in black or brown clothing in the woods, hiding behind trees, just waiting. Being still is more important than what you're wearing. as long as your face is covered. Or what a lot of people will do, they will just put their face to a tree, put their arms around it, and they'll just wait until they hear the crows get close enough, and then they'll pull their arms down and take a shot. And even wearing earplugs, when crows get close, you can still hear them. You might not be able to hear them super far away, but you can always leave one earplug out until they start getting closer, and then pop it in, and then be still. So these are the basics of what you need to get together for crow hunting. Please go ahead, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know what your favorite thing is to take crow hunting, or if you've got a question on some gear that might work or might not work and want to get some feedback, or maybe even want me to do a show on it in the future. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, head to the website, newhuntersguide.com, check out all the podcast episodes on crow hunting. Until next time, God bless you guys, and go get them in the woods.